Okay, hello to everyone that is watching yet another client interview and has joined us once more. You're with Noor here. I run the operations side of EasyGrow, and today I'm joined by Josh, yet another one of our amazing clients who's done exceptionally well with the program. And today we're going to uncover his story in a bit more detail. So, Josh, obviously, me and you know each other quite well from the program, and obviously we spoke just before this. But to the people watching, why don't you introduce who you are, who you serve, and the transformation that you deliver?
Yeah. So in terms of well, yeah, my name's Josh, obviously. The I run in a coaching business that helps agency owners get more appointments essentially through a few different automation systems, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically kind of in a nutshell what I do. We have quite a few clients now, obviously thanks to the program, partially. So yeah.
Yeah, there we go, man. And just to paint a picture in the people's mind, where were you before in terms of revenue before going through the program compared to where you are now? And how long did that take?
Yeah, I mean, I started this whole thing at absolute zero when I initially got EasyGrow. So literally knew nothing about nothing. And then yeah, now we're like in the past few months we've been doing on average about 50K a month, which is awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing, man. And when did you first start going through the program? I think you said like around a
Yeah,
year
so
and a
this
half.
was May 2023. So
Sweet.
about a year and a half ago, yeah, about 18 months.
Amazing stuff, man. Amazing. So yeah, Josh, talk to me about what things look like before joining the program. I know you said you started fresh with us, but what started the idea of starting an agency and stuff like this? Did you take any other courses or, what was in your mind at the time?
I actually didn't or I didn't take any courses before that. I was just scavenging through YouTube looking for all the best ways to do everything, I guess. Um, but yeah, I guess are you asking like why I started the agency or why I,
Yeah, yeah, like what drove you to
yeah.
start the agency? How did you begin? All that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really the start was just I guess an innocent search of how to make money online, as I think
Yeah.
most people most people do, and then down the rabbit hole. But really, I guess what kickstarted me wanting to do that was I felt like I could just achieve so much more with my life, and I I guess I had I had that like negative image that if I didn't do anything like I guess important, then I guess I always had the picture of like my gravestone, and it's just very brutal
Yeah.
with mediocre writ on it. That's like the really what I thought, and it's kind of like maybe you can that's a bad thing or a good thing. But that's what drove me to start, and I think that's I mean partially that's probably what I guess made me not willing to give up. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what kicked off for me. And with business, you can obviously make a lot of money at the same time. So that's
Yeah.
why I got started with all of this. But
Win, win, win. Before the program, Josh, did you try going at it on your own in terms of building the business without any sort of direction, like using YouTube videos and stuff like this, or did you just go straight
yeah,
into the program to get things set
yeah,
up?
I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, probably way too many videos, and wasted a lot of time doing that. I mean, a lot some of it's helpful, right? But yeah, I did try to do it all on my own and watch a ton of YouTube videos. Um, and it was not super successful. I think I gave that a go for about 3 months just on my own.
Yeah.
Um, I watched a lot of Charlie's content before joining, and a lot of other people's content as well. But yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
really have. Like I think I got like I was getting like maybe 2 meetings a week, which obviously is just not gonna good enough. I've never taken a sales call in my life, and I'm not I'm not normally a very a sales. I guess you wouldn't call me someone with typical good sales characteristics, so it did not come naturally to me. So yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah. Sticking on that topic, how comes like it'd be great to hear your perspective on why like just going for free content didn't work? Because typically a lot of people assume, and I'm sure you've seen this, like, oh, I can just get this online for free on YouTube and whatnot. Obviously, you tried that for a couple of months. What was the core issue with trying to, you know, find everything online on YouTube and in different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, I mean it's all like you can do it all for free. Like and like of course you can, right? But it's just a time thing, right?
Yeah.
Um so if you are like it's what's a parallel, right? Um it's like you're basically trying to reinvent the wheel to basically do everything, right? Which you can do, but to build all the stuff inside of EasyGrow, like this is stuff that's been iterated like 100 times.
Yep.
And to be like, if you want like to try and build something like that, like it'll take you a year. So if you, I mean, if you're happy to, I guess, go through everything for a whole year, before actually, I guess, then maybe you want to do it for free, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it to just go through all that, and then
Yeah.
still not have guaranteed success really.
Yeah, I can hear the pain in your voice just remembering going through those YouTube
Yeah,
videos from it sounds like. So yeah, before joining the program, Josh, obviously, like you said, you were getting 2 appointments a week, which by the way, uh, when I first started, I considered that a win, to be fair. So
yeah,
when you got that from free content, that's amazing. But obviously, there's so much more that can be achieved.
of
Um,
course.
Sticking on that topic, right? What was the key problems you were facing with the business when you were trying to do it, figure it out all on your own, like in terms of appointment setting, sales? What were the key issues you were facing?
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, the biggest issue is just like me not knowing anything about, and it's not just the like sales and appointments, because I think like you can give someone a ton of appointments and like I guess if you can show someone how to close, but if they don't know like the fundamentals, and this is where like acquisition genesis, like the primary, like the foundational stuff, um, it's the stuff that no one cares about.
Nope.
But yeah, it's the big needle mover, honestly. So I
Yeah,
would say that is the biggest thing that I was missing. Because like with that, like that's where you can learn to actually build proper systems, and build them fast and build them to actually succeed and win. And that's kind of where I became, I guess I would consider myself pretty good at appointment booking now. I obviously help people with that now. So that's like the main thing. But I
yeah.
guess in terms of sales, in terms of appointments, yeah, I was booking like 2 appointments a week. I didn't know why. I didn't know, and then I feel like like even if I just had that piece of like
Yeah,
acquisition genesis of knowing how to make it better, like
yeah,
obviously it's a lot better like with EasyGrow, you just plug and play into the system, right?
yeah,
But even just with that, like I felt like I could have gone
yeah,
significantly faster. And then sales was a whole nightmare for me because I'm
yeah.
like super introverted. Like I could not I looked back at one of my first sales calls the other day, and it's hilarious. But yeah, so
No,
that was also a really big piece. Jack's coaching calls are
yeah,
phenomenal. Um, yeah, in the last, so this is like the sales thing is what I've really been working on in the last 4 months or so. After working with, but like joining his coaching calls, I went my close rate went from 7% to 33%, in less than 4 months, which is nuts. I did not think
yeah.
that would be possible. So yeah, he's
Amazing stuff, man.
another, he's a monster. Yeah,
Yeah, Jack is a demon. Shout out to Jack. A few things I want to touch on there because I know you pointed out a couple of things. Firstly, out of interest, what did the sales process look like prior to EasyGrow, if there was any? I'm
yeah,
assuming
it
there
was.
wasn't, but or talk to me about what you were doing in terms of trying to convert
Yeah,
people.
I had like a discovery thing. I think I just watched like I think there's like one video of like Iman doing a sales call and I just tried
Yeah,
to replicate that. Which yeah, it was just ridiculous. It was me just asking a bunch of like random questions, not knowing why I was asking them.
yeah,
Um, yeah, there was no process basically.
yeah. Fair dues. And like fast forward to when you joined the program, like what does the process look like now in terms of when you had no process, like the script, the frameworks, and the understanding of it overall?
Yeah, well, I mean, now I think the understanding is the big piece, right? Because when you know
Yeah,
like what you actually like what the psychology of a person needs to be, in order to actually buy. Like you understand like the pillars essentially that a person actually like all of like the background. The biggest thing is like you with each like you're getting the questions right, and you're getting like what to ask the person. Like so it's a repeatable process, right? It's the same thing every
Yeah.
time. But the really big thing is knowing why you're asking the questions, right? Um, and that way you can actually have some intention behind it. You can ask follow-up questions, and you actually have a better idea and understanding of what to do. And the objection handling, like every single thing I've heard it like 20 times now. And the part of this is because of the amount of appointments that I've had. But I've heard every single thing at this point. There's only a limited amount of things that people can say. Um, and yeah, you just with EasyGrow, you're obviously getting access to every single response, to overcome
Yeah.
every single objection. So it's all
There we
there.
go. Yeah.
And you just as long as you put in the work and just memorize it, which is not an easy task. But yeah,
Yeah.
building a business isn't easy, so
Yeah, there
it's
we
all
go, man.
there.
And in terms of appointment setting, Josh, what did that look like for you prior to the program? I know you said you were getting 2 appointments per week. What
Yeah.
were you doing, and like how did things look like in terms of tracking data and stuff like this?
Yeah. I was running an instantly campaign. I am naturally I guess like I'm more of a marketing guy than a salesperson. Um and like the whole tracking and everything, like I came from like a super like I was a big math person. So I did that naturally. I was tracking the data anyways. But the campaign is I basically just could cold email um with like I don't even remember how I set up. I was just taking some Apollo leads and
Yeah.
just crossing my fingers basically. Um, which I guess I did get 2 points a week somehow. But yeah, it was not very good.
Yeah, not sustainable. So
Yeah.
compare that to now how the system looks now after going through the program. What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, right now, I'm booking about close to 30, about 25 appointments a week. Um, so pretty good. It's really painful to take all the sales calls. So we're working on getting someone else to do that. But yeah, we're booking about
Yeah.
25 a week.
Yeah. Amazing. And how are you currently booking those appointments? Is it still through email or like what strategies are you using?
So there's three different things we're using. Well, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a mess at the moment. In terms of like where it's coming from. So I have a YouTube channel which does I guess like maybe five of those per week. And then all the rest are through outbound,
Nice.
through LinkedIn and email mostly. And then I used to have more coming from Instagram. But we toned that down just because the show up rates we found on email and LinkedIn were significantly higher. So we're trying to do more of that. So yeah, it's mostly LinkedIn and email at the moment.
Yeah. Killer stuff, man. One thing I want to touch on, Josh, is acquisition genesis. And one thing that you brought up, which is the key point that, made you win from what you said is not necessarily the scripts, the tools, the frameworks, but more so the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. Because a lot of people watching this right now, and a lot of people in general, right? You may have been one of them. You probably assume that there's a magic script or magic system, whatever it is, but actually there's loads of scripts that work, there's loads of systems that work. The thing that makes it all work is when you start to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So talk to me a bit more about that sort of like learning that you had when going for acquisition genesis in terms of helping you succeed when you started to know or understand why you're doing what you're doing as opposed to just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just helps you make decisions. Like when it comes to appointment booking, when it comes to sales, when it comes to all these things in your business, um, at the end of the day, the quality of your business is going to be based on the quality of the decisions that you make. Um, and most people don't have like Charlie Morgan $1 million a month decision making level of
Yeah.
this like basically, yeah, they don't know how
Yeah.
to make decisions as someone like that. And obviously if they did, they would be making a lot more money. Which is why I guess I've been able to scale relatively quickly. And there's people who went from like 0 to 30 in like 3 months in here, but that's rare case. So Yeah, I mean, just that I think is so valuable in itself. Like I would buy the whole course just for that. It would be worth it. It
Yeah,
would be
and
more than worth
like you said, that's the thing where people jump in and they assume that, oh, let me just skip to outbound or
it. Yeah,
sales and whatnot. But the
yeah,
problem there is like you can skip to that, but you're not going to understand anything.
yeah. The thing is, if you already knew the stuff inside, it's not even that because like I feel like you can go in there and you can still like implement it and like make it work kind of. It would be better. But I think that the big issue is that like people assume that they already know like the offer stuff and they might know some stuff about
Yeah.
offers and all that. But the thing is if they knew like all the stuff in acquisition genesis, they would not have the problem that they would not have
Yeah.
enough clients. They wouldn't have need to buy EasyGrow anyways.
Yeah, exactly
It's like
that.
that's
It's,
the root cause. The
we
systems is like the bad.
exactly. We always see it either with what do you call acquisition genesis or mindset. It's like, oh, I don't need mindset. Oh, I don't need to
Yeah.
understand what I'm doing. I can say, all right, crack on, and then you can circle back, and we're going to be here
Yeah.
to say, I told you so. But
Yeah.
that's just how it is. But yeah, no, great stuff, man. Josh, talk to me about your general approach to the program. Obviously, when you joined, right, there's a lot to take in terms of, like you spoke about the offer creation, the acquisition side of things. Like, obviously, you had a business, 2 appointments per week, things were all over the place. How did you approach things from day one to, lay the foundations for where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, I guess, a little bit different since I was like doing absolute like nothing was working
Yep.
anyways. I was doing $0 a month, so I just like went in. I got like my pencil and pad. I have my whole notes from. I actually took notes from every little thing inside of Acquisition Genesis, which took ages. Um, and I wouldn't take notes, but you can if you want to. The PDFs are enough. But. Yeah, I just went head first, straight into it and just tried to learn and go through it as fast as possible. Just, I mean, I didn't have anything like now, obviously it would probably take a bit longer since I actually have important things to do. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's something that you can like you can do like you can find time for it. Um, but yeah, when I joined, I didn't really have anything better to do, so I just went all
Yeah.
in and it paid off.
Yeah. Great stuff, man. And in terms of like going through the program, setting the systems up and all this good stuff, from your experience, how sort of easy and simple is it to get things going?
Um, it I guess it depends on the system that you're using, but it's pretty
Yep.
straightforward. I mean, I had some familiarity with Instantly before, so that helped. But it's not like you don't need to be a tech wizard to
Yeah.
do any of it. It's and the fact like it's very detailed, in terms of the fact that it's very like line by line, step by step. Like you
Yeah.
like you tell like you literally tell what buttons to click. So it's
Yeah.
very easy and straightforward to use. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I want to touch on is obviously we got the program, which is the course and whatnot, which is great. But as you also know, we got the school community where there's group support and coaching calls as well, which I know you briefly touched on sales, right?
Mhm.
How valuable have you found having access to that school community as well as the different coaching calls in place to help you with the success? Because a lot of people assume that a course alone will help them succeed, which can be the case, but the reason why we have the school support and the coaching call is just to provide that additional layer of support that's unique to
Mhm.
your situation. So, Josh, how has that been helpful in your time being in the community?
Yeah. The coaching calls are really the big thing. Like the coaching calls are more important than I would even say most of the program. Because that's where you get like the details, I guess, or like yeah, like more specifics and more live information. Um, so if there's and this is like I joined Will's coaching calls as well. And there's a lot of stuff that he knows that isn't inside of the program. And
Yep.
that's not because it's not like being updated, but like literally you can't update it every week, right? But yeah, he's always like especially like going through different things and learning new stuff and it's really good to see like the like all of that like firsthand from someone who's that's his whole job basically. So that's really helpful. And then just the sales role plays and Jack just like every single call like he can get reviewed, which is incredible to me. So like if you just take if you just go if you have a problem with sales and you just take every call to one of the sales calls, like the role play calls or the coaching calls, um, like you'll be able to like just you'll be able to solve everything fairly quickly, like I did obviously. So
Yeah.
those are the two most valuable things. In terms of the community, I've actually met quite a few. It's very cool to have like a network of like a ton of like it's weird. It's like this like little world that you don't even know exists. It's
Yeah.
like this community of like a bunch of like 20-year-olds. Like not just 20-year-olds, right? But I guess the people that I talk to, it's just like there's so many like 20-year-olds making like multi five figures every month. And
Yeah. It's
it's like
insane.
this does it's like it's a different universe.
It's
So
it's it is a new world. It's the online
yeah.
world. Whereas I damn sometimes it's hard to
Yeah.
take in. But yeah, man, that's killer stuff. Um, Josh, here's a bit of a curveball for you. Do you think you would have achieved the success you've achieved without the coaching calls and additional support in place?
Um, no, I wouldn't have achieved what I've achieved it. Maybe I'd be where I'm at right now, but maybe it'd be in a year or two.
Mm. There we go. Yeah, so just take a bit longer. So yeah, I wanted to highlight that because like with the course sales specifically, right? You can have the sales, module and whatever it is, but those coaching calls where like
Yeah,
Jack, I'm assuming he cooks you when you bring a
yeah,
call and when you role play, right? He just dissects everything. And well, what was the conversion rate? How did it improve? Sorry, you went from like 9% or
yeah. It was 7% in July,
yeah.
and now it's November. Well, it's been yeah, September, October, November. It's been around 25 to 30%.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. What were the key things that changed for you during that period? Because you obviously had the sales training
Hmm.
from the program. How did the coaching calls help refine things? Like what
I
tweaks did you
think
make?
Yeah, I mean, number one was the objections. And there's
Yeah,
a lot of stuff that Jack knows that isn't like inside of the program. Um, but like in terms of just like not like number one, just practicing that, and two, like the scripts that he's built out and developed after like whatever, however long he's been in sales for. I don't even think he hasn't even been in sales for that long, maybe like 3 years or
around
so.
that 3, 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and he started like I think he learned from Charlie or whatever, right?
yeah, yeah. He worked with us.
But yeah, he's like the best. Like I've probably spent like 30 grand on just sales training. Like I bought Jeremy Miner's thing, like all of the
Yeah,
sales gurus, I probably bought their thing. But Jack is better than all of them, and also you're actually
damn.
getting like support with him, and it's not like I've been in those programs where it's like there's 50 people and you're trying to do a role play, and it's like this is like doesn't even yeah, it's like just watching a video basically. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's really helpful. I'm totally tangenting here. What was the initial
No,
question?
no, all good. No, you answered it to be honest. I asked about the
Okay.
difference in conversion rate, but then you
Oh yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
expanded. So yeah,
yeah,
that's all good, man. You covered that.
yeah,
Killer stuff, man. I'm gonna let Jack know he's gonna he's gonna love those
yeah.
words.
He already
He's gonna,
knows.
he's gonna
I've
love that.
already
There we
never
go, bro.
praised him too much. Yeah.
Amazing. Josh, talk to me about how the business looks in terms of team, the amount of clients you have, and how you're fulfilling compared to,
Hmm.
before you joined the program. Obviously, before you joined the program, I'm assuming it was a one-man army and doing what you can yourself.
Yeah.
How does it look now? Are you still one-man army, or I'm assuming you may have some systems in place now and team
Yeah.
members.
Yeah. Um, So in terms of what that looks like, so I started doing like a little bit of background about the agency will probably make this more sense. So I started with a done for you like lead gen agency. I did that for like however long, maybe like 7, 8 months.
Hmm.
And then I scaled that to like 10K per month and then stopped it because I didn't like doing it. And then I switched to the info thing, which if you want to build an info product, this is also the best thing that you could ever. I think EasyGrow is the best for that. I think it's the only thing that actually shows you how to properly do that, which is surprising because coaching is such a big industry now
Yeah,
with like this online stuff.
massive.
So yeah, that's the big thing. And in terms of what the team structure looks like, we started that less than a year ago. So I guess like you could even say like with 0 to 50K in less than a year, because that's like I guess basically a new business in terms of the info thing. But yeah, so in terms of how the team looks, at one point it had like we had like 10 people, but that was just me being an
Wow.
idiot and hiring too
Yeah.
many people. And now we have yesterday, well we had 4 VAs basically, just to help with the email stuff. Just because like when you have a model that's just leveraged as EasyGrow, service delivery is not hard at all. So yeah, I just had people helping with cold emails, and then as of yesterday, we hired another appointment setter. So we have a total of 5 people, but it's just all setters basically.
Sweet, amazing stuff, man. And what's the next goal? What's the next milestone you're gunning for?
100, of course. Um, but yeah, on this trajectory, I think we can get there probably January or February.
Yeah, easy. We'll do it. We'll do a part two. This is just a
Yeah,
this is a
yeah,
part one. I'm gonna archive
yeah,
this as a part one.
yeah. Last month
Yeah,
we did. I guess we'll say it here.
yeah,
Yeah, in the last 30 days we did about 70K in revenue. So
yeah.
50 was like the average, but we can get the
Sweet.
first 100K month in a few months.
Damn, with a five-man team with 4 VAs, one appointment setter. That's killer. That's
Yeah, I
absolutely killer,
know.
man. So yeah, just need to get you off the sales calls.
Yeah, exactly. We need to find a sales rep. We
Yeah.
need to find a jack.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So, Josh, one thing I want to touch on is the mindset side of things. So,
Hmm.
talk to me about how version one of Josh, the version that was the version of Josh before the program, looks compared to the version that I'm speaking to right now. Like, what identity shift did you have to make in order to succeed?
Hmm. That's a good question. Um, I don't know actually. I mean, I would say I was pretty disciplined and all that before I joined. And I think the mindset was good. It definitely, I think the biggest thing is the goal mapping.
Hmm.
Like where you create that whole like Sam Evans presentation thing,
Yeah.
that slideshow. I think that's the that helps. And the reason why I say that is because like looking at like I looked at my old version the other day and it's like all of it's done. And I'm like, oh well, this is why I feel empty
Sick.
inside. Now I need to make another one. Um yeah, so I think like having just a trajectory to go like put yourself on is helpful. I still don't think there's a better um mindset thing than David Goggins' book, but Easy Grows a close
Mm.
second. Um
I can accept that. Bloody
but
Goggins.
yeah, I think that yeah, I think that it's like that goal aspect of things is super
Yeah.
helpful. And also the what is it called? The breaking your chains
Hmm.
is actually massive as well. Because also this is actually no, that's I actually I should talk about that. I had like I was even looking at my Stripe screen like 3 months ago, and it was like this, just like
Yeah,
bouncing
yep.
up and down, and it was just like so painful. Like one month it was like 35, and the next month it was like 10, and it was just like all over the place. Um, and then I went back because I already watched it before, but I went back to watching that Breaking of Chains, or Breaking Your Chains, and then like since then it's just been going up. Um, so that's really helpful. And I can see like there's leading in like you once you notice that, you notice that there's like leading indicators like with your behavior that is dictating that curve. And like looking back on it, I'm like I was like the most like you can know like what is causing that. So I noticed that I was like when I got to 35 or whatever, I was like super comfortable. I was like, oh, I'm so cool. And then I just like stopped putting in as much work. right? And it's like these two parallel like waves, but and like the
Yeah.
behavior one is first. Like I was at the top, and the behavior one started going down, and it just pulled this one down too. And then I would be in so much pain that I would work so hard, and then I would go all the way up. So just like realizing that, um, that was really helpful.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that like that helped me get out of that rut for sure.
Yeah. Killer stuff, man. Were there any limiting beliefs that you had that you ended up breaking as you
Oh, I'm
progressed?
sure there were tons. Yeah.
Yeah. I know one you
Uh,
mentioned was, what did you say, you were introverted. So then it's
yeah.
like, I don't know, this can affect my sales ability or whatever.
Yeah.
How did you go about handling that? Because obviously that's quite a common one that a lot of people face, and you're
Yeah.
clearly good at sales. So
Yeah.
how did you go about smashing that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just about looking at evidence. There are people out there who are introverted and who are good at sales.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, all kind of like, well, are you just gonna like not win? Um,
Mm,
so I'm like, well, no, obviously not. And just
yeah.
suck it up, basically. But yeah, I still don't like sales at all.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good at it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess decently good at it now.
So it's like a
But
it's like a double-edged sword.
yeah, yeah, it's just you just have to look at people because like probably everything that you want to do has already been done before.
Mm-hmm.
um
Great
so
stuff.
I think a lot of people have limiting beliefs around like money and things like that, which I never really had.
Yeah.
um because people say like there's a lot of people who say like you can't like, you don't understand that like you can actually make money online properly. But you just have to look like at the evidence. Like there's so many people who are.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
the only excuse is if like you think you're like so special and horrible at everything that you're the person who can't do it. And I
Yeah.
would never think like that. Like, yeah,
There we go. Dangerous thought patterns to have.
yeah,
Dangerous. So yeah, well said, man. Um, Josh, simple question. How has life changed for you, man? Since, before joining the program, zero, everything's all over the place, trying to make it work.
yeah,
Fast forward to about 18 months now, 50K a month, business is thriving, business is growing. Talk to me about how life has changed, if it has changed, or you're still, locked in and doing what needs to be done. And
yeah,
ultimately, how does it feel just having that sense of peace, knowing that you've got predictability in your business?
yeah. I think to some extent it hasn't changed, which is probably for the better. I'm not one of those people who's like, yeah, I went to Thailand and then Cape Town and like went to all these like I still haven't traveled, so I'm going to the mastermind next week. So that'll be the first time I've actually
Yep.
had the
See you
location
there.
freedom. But I just never cared about that. And it was more the ability to be able to do that, which I think is
Yeah.
makes you happy enough, at least for me. And I just enjoy. No, I don't really enjoy it. Like obviously I'd probably enjoy not taking the sales calls, but I I enjoy the struggle to an extent, I guess. Which is why I'm continuing to want to grow rather than just like getting to
Yeah.
whatever like 15K a month and just like doing nothing.
Yeah.
Which if you want to do that, then that's fine too. Um, but yeah, nothing's really changed in that front. Except for the ability to like I was in university before. I actually technically am still in university, which is hilarious. But I'm not really doing anything and I won't be there for long. Which is awesome because I hate everything
Yeah.
about my
Time to
degree.
get out,
So
man.
now I can just basically do what I want, which is also nice that I don't have to wake up every day in the morning and either yeah, just basically do something that I hate, which is always good. So I think that's the main thing. Honestly, just the freedom and the ability
Yeah.
to be able to do what I want without necessarily taking action on every little impulse. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the main thing.
Great stuff, man. Yeah, it's funny when you start saying I'm not one of those guys that's traveled to Thailand, Cape Town, whatever. I'm waiting to jump on an interview with someone that's just gone full send and
Yeah,
enjoy life. So it's
you
funny.
haven't done that yet?
I need like a montage because every time I ask that question, it's the same answers as you. It's very
Yeah.
similar, but it makes
You should make a map and put like a pin where every location where someone from EasyGrow has gone after they achieve location
yeah.
freedom.
Exactly. Well, right now it's hard to find, man, because everyone's locked in that I speak to, and it makes
Yeah.
sense. You're always looking forward to the next goal, next big thing, so you never settle,
Yeah, it's
which is great.
I think it's because you need to become the person who doesn't want to go on all these vacations in order to
Yeah,
be able to do it.
yeah,
Because if
it's
you're
like a
just like
catch
always
22.
thinking like I just
Yeah,
want to go sit on the beach, like you're never gonna work hard enough to be able to
be able to
get to
do
the
that.
point where you're able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. But no, good stuff, man. It's great to have that. I love what you said about options. It's great to have that power, control, and freedom where it's like, right, I have the option to go disappear in Thailand, but I
Yeah.
choose not to. But having that option is nice. I've got the option to, I know for people watching, Josh wakes up at bloody 5:30. So he
Yeah.
has the option if he wanted to, change the schedule a bit more, but he stays disciplined, still waking up early doing what he wants. So it's having that freedom is powerful and nothing's better than that. So yeah, great stuff, man. Josh, as we wrap up the client interview here, there's typically two groups of people that watch this. First of which are current clients in the school group, and the second of which are people that have yet to join the program. Uh, for the current clients, what would you say is the best pieces of advice you can give to them in order to succeed from your experience working with us?
Um, Give it time and don't quit, basically is the biggest piece. Um, Everything will that's the biggest, I think, thing that's helped me is that I would just tell myself if I keep doing this, if I continue to work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 10 years, it becomes unreasonable that I do not succeed. And that's what helped me go through because it still took me like 9 months to get to like I made like 2K in my first 9 months of business, right? And then a month. Um, but it's just that's the part that no one sees, and that's where you just have to that's where people quit on month nine. So
Yeah.
just don't give up. If you never give up, you can never fail.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And for the people that have yet to join the program, Josh,
Yeah.
um, almost as if you're speaking to yourself before you join the program, right? To those people that are on
Mm.
the fence, they want to think about it. Maybe they've even yet to book a call. What would you say to those guys, from your experience working with us? Like, how's it been?
Yeah. Um, I mean, the biggest, hmm, that's a good question. I would say that the biggest, the thing that at least the thing that scares me the most in life is the fear of regret. Um, Worst case scenario, you buy the program and maybe only get 10 clients, and then you get your 5 grand back. Or you get the 5K wire plus your money back. Um, but the worst thing that could happen is basically you continue to things continue to go how they're going, and um, and you look back 10 years later and you didn't become the best version of yourself. So I would do it
Yeah,
because I'm here
bang
right now.
on. There we
Yeah.
go. That's it. Mic drop. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the client interview, guys. As we wrap it up, I'm gonna say my famous outro. And for those of you that have watched my interviews, you're probably tired of it and you're probably clicking off as we speak. For those that haven't, you're in for a treat. But if you are someone watching this interview right now and you want a get rich quick pill where no work is required and you can join a program and boom, you get instant success and you don't have to do the 9 months of work that Josh is talking about, and there's minimal success and all that stuff. Long story short, if you want to buy a program and you get success the next day, this is not for you. Okay, I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm not going to sell you the Ferraris, the watches, and all that good stuff and tell you that it's instantaneous because it simply isn't. And I'm not going to lie you. I'm not going to provide you with some Instagram advertising illusions of these people that pitch these type of dreams, okay? If you do find that instantaneous success or, that pill that gives you that instantaneous success, send it my way because I'd like to indulge in that pill myself. But if you are someone like Josh and many of our other clients who are willing to follow a proven framework to succeed, are willing to put in the time and effort needed, are willing to leverage the existing support channels outside of the program, through the coaching calls, through the group support, and all that good stuff. And like Josh says, give it time, then we're probably a good fit for you. So feel free to do your due diligence, check out the other client interviews, check out the client results, and then feel free to proceed to book a call with us. Like Josh said, the worst case scenario, even from booking a call, to be honest, the worst case scenario is you can see if it's a good fit for you or not. But even if you do join us, the worst case scenario is that you sign a couple of clients, and if we don't match up with the guarantee, we give you all your money back and 5K on top to go with it. So look, that's pretty much it for the client interview. I hope you found this one valuable. Um, Josh, last question for you. Sorry, I nearly forgot. Where can the people
Yeah.
find you if they want to keep up with you, man?
Josh Duick on YouTube.
Sweet.
Yeah, just head over there. Dueck.
Sweet. Amazing. So Josh's YouTube is going to be in the description, so keep up to date with what he's doing. And yeah, I'm going to archive this as a part one, and hopefully I can get Josh on a part two if his
Oh
schedule
yeah.
isn't too busy for me in the coming months. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you found this one valuable. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Bye.